Wartime Washington, where the housing situation is so acute that there is a waiting list for park benches. Wartime Washington, where Republicans are sharing rooms with Democrats and even isolationists are doubling up. All day long, trains pour more throngs into the crowded city. Here are some dollar-a-year men. Where will they stay? Well, nobody can say they're not trying. Accommodations here are among the most sought after in Washington. A long lease, but no guarantee of renewal. Another Washington headache is the manpower shortage. Things are getting so bad, most dollar-a-year men now have only one nephew working for them. But with or without men, Washington moves on. When there are no men, the women do the job.
What are you trying to do, you little squirt?
Button up, Grandma. Your teeth are slipping.
Come on, Mr. Weathering.
That'll be $2.95.
Oh, just a minute, Mr. Weathering. I have it right here. Girls, guess what? Mr. Weathering's going to have tea with us.
Oh, Mr. Weathering, what a lovely surprise.
I'll bet. How do you like that? Another lead penny. Sorry, I'm through for the day.
Oh, but we have an important appointment with the senator.
Sorry, no more gas.
There's one. Yoo-hoo! Oh, yoo-hoo! Taxi.
Hop in quick before somebody else commandeers this bus.
Somebody already has. Why, Jerry Daly. Carol. Gee, it's good to see you. Get in.
Yeah, by all means do.
Oh, this is wonderful. We're all friends, Vicky. We knew each other in New York.
Oh?
You sure look prosperous, Jerry. Yeah, I was secretary to a big shot. Was? Was, as of this afternoon. Gee, that's a good-looking uniform. What are you? A spar, recruiting officer. Oh, that's nice. Anything wrong, Jerry? Plenty. I had to give up my apartment.
Apartment?
Yeah, I got into it through pull, and I got out the same way. Also my job. Well, the Coast Guard needs more spars. And as for a room... Well, she's got to sleep someplace, and there's always room for one more. You can come with us. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. This is Victoria. Everybody calls her Vicky. Oh, really?
No, O'Reilly.
There's nothing fancy about the hen coop. And it's crowded, but... The hen coop? Well, that's what we call it. Nothing but girls there.
So different from the rest of Washington.
It's just like home, thanks to Mother Henry. You'll love Mother Henry. Mother Henry! Oh, this is Jerry. She's got no place to go. This is Mother Henry.
Don't look so surprised, Jerry. That's just a girl's way of having fun.
Oh, don't you believe him? He mothers us like an old hen. You really run this place?
Me and Nellie.
I do, honey. This needs pressing, Mother.
Yeah, I'll do it in a minute. The way it all happened, after Pearl Harbor, I says to myself, now what can a doddering old fool like me do? Nothing, I said. And then I thought, I've got a house, and I can cook, and if the girls of this town can do a man's job, I can do a woman.
What have you been making today?
Hot chili for Amy. Nothing like it to tune up the digestion. That's what the president always said. I wrote out the recipe for Mrs. Roosevelt.
I didn't know the president suffered from indigestion.
Oh, bless you, I'm not talking about this, and I'm talking about Teddy.
Oh, look, icebox cookies.
Best dang cookies in the District of Columbia, Teddy used to say. Only he didn't say dang. I was in Cuba with him.
Where are we going to put Jerry?
Well, now, let me see. You're going to spoil your suppers. Go on, get out of here, you young ones. Go on, scat.
How do I look in this?
Like a seasick oyster.
These will just match my new suit. I'll wear them tonight.
Don't tell me you got a date.
You said it. How old is he? Well, he hasn't been drafted yet. That's positively indecent.
Hey, girls, take a look at this.
Oh, well, really?
Uh-oh. O'Reilly's in again.
President expects some privacy.
Not around here.
The girls didn't mean anything by it. Everybody uses everybody else's things. Well, anytime anybody wants to use my toothbrush, they'll bother to ask. Which is my room. I'll show you.
What a drip.
What did you bring her here for?
Oh, stop beefing. She's got clothes we can all wear.
Yes, with all those shoes, she's like a black market.
If you ask me, she's more like a black widow.
Gangway. Hello? Hello? What? Why, of course I'll marry you. Who is this? Oh. What's the matter?
Wrong number.
Well, it's about time. What were you doing, playing with a sailboat?
This is our room in here. It's a little crowded, but none of the girls snore. How many in here? Counting you, 7. How chummy. You must go crazy looking under all these beds every night. I'll move topside. She'll be sleeping in a hammock anyway. Put a day in with the Coast Guard, you wouldn't need these sleeping tablets. Have some? Thanks. Don't use it. Well, here's to the Coast Guard. Supper's at 6:30. Don't hold it for me if I'm not there. Oh, boy, what I wouldn't give to wear that dress tonight.
Why don't you forget it? That old really wouldn't lend you her shoelace.
Oh, I don't know. She might, if she thought you were going to hang yourself with it.
Come on, girl. She's not that bad.
Are you kidding?
No, you see, Jerry and I went to school together. I know what her home life was.
Yeah, what?
Very unhappy, Vicky. How about it, girls? Let's give her a break, huh?
Sure, Carol.
We'll be nice to her for you.
Okay, as I always say, any friend of yours is a friend of mine.
I'd still like to wear that dress. I want to speak to Mr. Crane.
Yours very truly. That's all. We'll clean the rest up in the morning. Be with you in a minute, dear.
All right.
Yes? Oh, just a moment. Who is it? I see. I'll take it. Put her on, please. That's all. Good night. Good night. Good night, Mrs. Crane.
Good night.
Hello? Yes. Jerry, you've got to stop calling me.
Let me. Miss Daly, this is Mrs. Crane. I understand when my husband dismissed you from the office, he also told you he didn't care to see you again.
If he thinks he can get rid of me that easy, he's mistaken.
I'm sorry, Miss Daly, but I told my husband that if he loved you, I'd give him his freedom.
Yes? What did he say? Oh. He chose you, did he? Well, just tell him from me he'll wish he hadn't.
Jerry, I brought you some supper. Carol, come up here, quick.
What's the matter?
Call a doctor, quick.
I'll call Dr. Mayberry.
Jerry. Jerry.
Is she dead?
No. Jerry.
Hello, Hugh? Oh, this is Carol. There's been an accident. One of the girls. Can you come over right away? Well, tell them to hurry then, please. They're sending an ambulance right over. Look,
Note. John, my beloved, this is the only solution. Mrs. Crane is no longer young.
Crane, John Crane. He's handling the steel contracts for the government.
Shh. I could never be happy with you, knowing we'd made her unhappy. So, goodbye, Jerry.
She must have taken that whole bottle of sleeping tablets.
Yes. It was full when I saw it before supper.
Dr. Craig. Dr. Craig. Report to Dr. Mayberry. Dr. Craig.
Dr. Mayberry!
Report to Dr.
Hugh!
Mayberry.
Oh, hello, Carol. Is this the girl you called about?
Yes, it is.
What did you say happened?
Overdose of sleeping tablets.
An overdose, you say? All right, my girl, you asked for it. Rush her into emergency. Tell them to give her the works. Stomach pump, all of it. Oh, yes, and when she shows signs of consciousness, keep her on her feet. Yes, sir. You go sign her in, Carol. I'll see you later.
Dr. Craig. Report to Dr. Mayberry.
Sorry I was held up, Doctor.
There's an emergency appendectomy. I'd like for you to assist.
Thanks. Thanks very much.
I'm tired. I tell you, I'm tired.
You're tired. My feet are killing me.
I'm not sick anymore. I'm just tired. Round we go and back again. Oh, I can't take another step.
Ah, shut up.
Amen.
Hello, you still here?
Still here.
Good. This is Stephen Craig, Carol.
Hello.
Hello.
A young fellow with a real future.
Dr. Mayberry's told me a lot about you, Miss Northrup.
How is she, Hugh?
Oh, let's go and find out.
I can't walk anymore. I won't.
Please, you're disturbing the young patient.
Stop.
Has she fainted?
No, she's sound asleep.
Come on, Carol. I want to talk to you.
Darn little fool trying to do away with herself.
Certainly a beautiful little thing to be so ornery, isn't she?
Yes, she sure is. Let us sleep it off.
Yes? Well, get in touch with Mrs. Jones's personal physician and have her moved as soon as possible. We need the bed. Oh, I wish somebody'd remind me to devote more time to healthy women.
Hugh, I know you're overcrowded here, but can't you put Jerry in a private room?
Private room, huh? Well, let's see. There's a pneumonia case we might put out to make room for the little phony.
What do you mean, phony?
Oh, she didn't intend to hurt herself. She swallowed 3 or 4 tablets, enough to put her out, that's all.
But the bottle was empty.
Oh, it's easy enough to throw them down the drain.
She left a note.
For a boyfriend. This is the best way out. What was his name for the record?
Crane. John Crane.
John Crane, the steel man? Ah, the susceptible old fool. He deserves to have his name smeared all over the front page. But he's too important to the war effort right now. Let's forget the note. I'll report it as an accidental overdose.
But if she was only shamming...
Well, if she was, it'll teach her a lesson. And if she wasn't, she definitely needed a stomach pump.
Miss Daly? Miss Daly?
What? Oh, it's you. What do you want?
You'll have to get up and get dressed.
What, isn't even morning yet?
I know, but we need your bed.
Are you crazy? I nearly died last night.
And now you're all right.
I'm not all right.
Shh. Dr. Craig's going off duty. He says he'll drive you home. Shh. Nice girl.
How do you feel?
Empty.
Good. I prescribe a light but nourishing breakfast and about 5 more blocks. I eat there every morning.
Wait, stop. I want to get the morning papers.
Oh, don't worry. There's nothing about you in them.
There isn't.
No, Dr. Mayberry saw to that. He knew you'd want to keep it quiet. There's one swell guy, Dr. Mayberry.
Danced me through college, took me under his wing at the hospital. Hey, what's the matter?
Why did you stop me? Why didn't you let me die?
Why?
You don't understand.
Why don't you go ahead and spill it? Make you feel better.
I'd be too ashamed.
Oh, man, huh? Married?
But I didn't know it. All he used to talk about was when we were going to be married. And his wife came to my apartment. Oh, it was awful finding out about her, but the things she said, such terrible things. But she was wrong. I never...
Where's your family?
I haven't any. Not in Washington.
That's why your kindness means so much to me.
Your wife is a very lucky woman.
Oh, I'm not married. I'm just naturally round-shouldered. And now for that breakfast. And don't let me catch you ordering any apples.
She's coming. Now, remember what we said. Be nice to her. Here, Vicki?
If I'm asleep, I don't have to be anything to her.
Morning, Jerry. Hello, Jerry.
Hi. Just in time for breakfast. I've had breakfast, thank you.
Look, Jerry, I was thinking, I can get you a job down in the OBE.
There are nothing but girls there, Jerry. Come with me to the FCG.
They let us smoke when we get off early in the OAA.
Personally, I still think she belongs in the OPU.
Telephone, Carol, Dr. Mayberry.
Thanks.
I wish I had a doctor on the string.
Ask him if he's got a friend.
Make it 2.
How about it, Jerry? Would you like to apply this morning?
I should break my back over a typewriter. And all I have to do is meet a man socially, and bing, I'm in.
Yeah, and bang, you're right out again.
Well, that was short and sweet. Is he?
Did he ask for a date?
What is there about a uniform that always attracts a man?
Maybe the girl inside. Sure you don't want to go to work, Jerry?
Not today, thanks. I might decide to be a spar. How about it, Carol? You're a recruiting officer, aren't you?
We'll talk about that when you decide.
And when Teddy's boy Quentin was lost, I wrote his father and told him that my boy was gone too. Know what he wrote back? We should be very glad our boys had a chance to serve their country. They showed the stuff that was in them before their warrior's death.
Hello, Mother. Good evening, Dr. Mayberry.
Good evening.
Doctor. Hello.
Hello.
Ah, these young pullets get mighty tired listening to an old rooster like me crow. Here comes the likely young bantam.
Evening. Evening, Mother Henry.
Hey, evening, son. I'll holler up that you're here.
All right, thanks. Hot out tonight, isn't it?
Not as hot as in the operating room.
Oh, hello, Doctor.
You have a case here in the hen coop, Doctor?
Yes, Doctor. A little affliction of the heart, I hope.
Jerry, your boy's here.
Coming.
My, Miss Jerry. This dress sure bring out your eyes. Bring out your boyfriend's eyes, too.
I hope he's wearing tails.
Who is the lucky ape?
So long, kids. See you later. Oh, wait a minute. I'll go down with you. That dame will go out with any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
Well, it's better than staying home with the Willies.
I've been wanting to talk to you for several days. Well, I've been around. Yes, I know, but I don't know exactly how to begin. You don't like me, do you, Carol? I don't blame you. Dr. Mayberry told you I faked that suicide, didn't he? Yes. Well, you see, I wanted to make a man sorry for what he'd done to me. You can't understand that, can you? I don't see that it matters. Well, it matters to me. Because since I've been seeing Stephen, Dr. Craig, I realize how cheap the whole thing was. He's so decent and honest, and you're the same sort of person. That's why I wish you could feel friendly towards me. Can't you, Carol? Of course. Thanks. Excuse us, please.
Thank you very much.
Where are you from?
Texas.
Company dismissed.
Excuse me.
Hey, what's the idea?
Looks like the Marines have landed.
And I thought the way to a man's heart was through his stomach.
They must have found a shortcut.
Mother, fetch my knitting.
Would you do something for me, if I can? Ask Dr. Mowbray not to tell Stephen about it. You know, that phony stunt I pulled. I don't think he'd tell him anyhow.
Oh, well, I'll tell him myself someday. But I'm so afraid of losing him. I just can't get up the nerve.
I wonder if it's important. After all, you're not the first woman that's tried that stunt. I guess the worst thing about it was its lack of originality.
Wonder what those two are thinking about. Getting married?
Does anybody in this house think about anything else?
I don't
Don't what?
think about anything else.
Huh?
Excuse me a minute, please. Oh, doctor. Doctor, I didn't know that Jerry was going to dress up and have a little short, and I wonder if...
Why, certainly. Is that okay?
Oh, plenty, thanks. Sure you won't join us afterwards?
No, thanks. You're much too grand for us. Next time, maybe.
All right, good night, then.
So long, Steve. I hope that boy knows what he's doing.
She's not so bad, really.
It's a very pretty hat you have on, Miss Northrop.
Same one I had on last night.
And who said it wasn't pretty last night?
Let's go over to the bar.
All right.
Would you mind,
Oh, no, not at all.
Thank you. Order me something full of powder nose, will you?
All right, hurry back.
What'll it be, sir?
2 dry martinis, please.
Package of cork tips, please.
May I, please?
Thanks. You seem to have the magic touch.
May I also have the pleasure of buying you a drink?
Sorry.
Perhaps some other time, huh?
Perhaps.
At your pleasure.
Here's to us.
Stephen, I have a terrible headache.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would you mind too much if we went home now?
No, of course not. May I see you again soon?
As soon as you like.
Dinner tomorrow night?
Dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, swell.
Hello? Mr. Romanescu? You said it my pleasure, remember? Well, I've had a very boring time, and the evening's still young.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Tonight I am engaged.
Oh? Well, just forget I called. Goodbye.
Oh, wait. Tomorrow night. Are you free then?
I have a date. Mm-hmm. Yes, I can break it. Dinner? Oh, I'd love it.
Any place you say. Oh, but I do like the new Richelieu. It's so smart.
And so expensive.
No. No, don't call for me. Yes, that would be better. I'll come by your place around 7. Fine. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Sorry for the interruption, gentlemen, but one cannot neglect his social obligations. Now, where were we?
$9.85, did you say?
Yeah.
This is it.
I'm sorry I haven't any change.
That's all right. This one's on me.
Thanks.
See you later.
And I'll wear your taffeta jacket, Adelaide, and your slippers, Susan, and...
Say, haven't you ever had any good evening clothes?
I've never even had a good evening.
Come on, kids. We're going to New Richelieu.
How come? Who is? Who's going?
We're all going. Come on, chip in.
No hen party for me, and Dutch at that.
Listen, the man-trap's got her hooks into a new victim.
Jerry?
Yeah, I want to see what she stood up a nice guy like Stephen for.
How does she do it? 3 men in the time we've known her.
Yeah, 3 men, and I have to drive through red lights so the cops will whistle at me. How much money you got, Amy?
Between 98 and 100, exactly $2. That's twice as much as I've got. And I'm stone broke.
Here you go again, Mr. Henry.
All right. Well, you eat your supper here, Vicky. I'll be damned if I'll pay fancy prices for food that I wouldn't even feed the cat.
Oh, you're an angel. We'll pay you back on Saturday.
And buy it again on Sunday?
Have you got the money?
Champagne cocktails, please.
Sorry, miss. Unescorted ladies are not served at the bar.
What do you mean?
Sorry.
How do you like that? It's a racket to soak us for the cover charge.
There's a table.
Why, girls, what a lovely coincidence. Our darling little roommate Jerry is here tonight.
Oh, well, how nice.
We must say hello.
Yes, of course.
Yoo-hoo, Jerry. My, but you look pretty in my new dress.
Take care of it, dear. I've got to wear it tomorrow night. Don't look so surprised, honey.
You'll wrinkle my only other pair of eyelashes.
Don't get up. I'll sit down.
Well, really?
O'Reilly. Victoria O'Reilly.
Michael Romanescu.
Didn't I drive you to Navy Building yesterday in my cab?
No, I'm sorry. I seldom use cabs. Will you honor us?
Oh, why, thank you, sir. Oh, what a beautiful ring. What is it, a collared seal?
It happens to be a family crest.
Oh, well, I still can't make it out.
What's a symbol of my family tree?
Oh? Why, Jerry, darling, you'd fit right into that tree.
Do you care to order now?
Yes,
Do you mind if we dine someplace else?
No, not at all. Any place you wish.
Well, you might wait till a lady finishes.
Yes, and you might wait until you've been invited.
Nice even disposition. Miserable all the time.
Not with me. I know how to handle women.
Give them plenty of rope, huh? Well, in her case, you better put plenty of poils on it.
Huh?
Poils.
Oh.
And what's more, I want a nickel back on the bottle.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Mr. Crane.
Good evening.
Hi, it's a lovely party you're having. But it isn't nearly as nice as those little suppers you used to have for two.
Come, John, this is our dance.
Goodbye.
You little witch. You know John Crane very well?
Too well.
Used to like him, I think, huh? And now?
Now I like you.
Hello. Guess what? We've been to church.
What church?
The one on the corner. They've got a new minister right out of this world.
Did she behave herself, Ruth?
After she found out he had a wife and 5 kids.
Oh, it's a little thing like a wife and 5 or 6 kids.
Well, it makes a difference with an Esther. Bye.
Hey, what goes on here? Isn't one girl out of this hen coop enough for you?
Why don't you speak for yourself, Doctor?
Jerry went to New York for the day with her brother. I know she intended to call you. She must have forgotten in the rush.
No, it's too bad, Steve. Come on, Carol.
Shall we take pity on him?
No, if he can't take care of his women, let him take a bus ride or something. Have you been to the Smithsonian Institute lately? It's a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon, very instructive. Well, goodbye.
Wait, he really does look forlorn. Let's take him with us.
Oh, all right. But don't bother us and don't address remarks to Carol without my permission.
Well, is it all right if I ask the young lady where we're going?
She doesn't know.
That's the truth. Some dark secret of his.
Well, there she is.
A houseboat. You've been holding out on us.
When did you get it?
Oh, heard about it yesterday morning and bought it at exactly 3:05 in the afternoon. Come on, I want a seagoing woman's advice.
Perfect. Are we the first to see it?
Mm-hmm. And the last. I bought it to get away from people and relax.
What's in there?
The kitchen.
You mean the galley?
Aye, ma'am, the galley. Do you really like it?
Love it.
You know, I thought I might brighten her up a little.
Don't do that. I like her just as she is.
And I love her just as she is.
Hey, when do we eat?
No, we forgot to feed the baby.
Did I say something?
I've had such a wonderful time. I wish I didn't have to go back to the hen coop.
Perhaps you won't have to go back one day soon, hmm?
Michael,
Yes?
may I ask you something?
Anything?
Who are your friends? You don't seem to have any.
I could say the same about you.
Well, that's different. I haven't introduced you to the hen coop because I was afraid one of those females might snatch you from me.
Oh, impossible.
What do you do for a living?
I listen.
You listen?
Yes, a bit of gossip at the bar, careless remark in the cloakroom, putting two and two together.
You mean you're a spy?
Oh, no, nothing so very impressive. No, I'm very sorry to reveal my very commonplace occupation to you. Newspaper reporters, radio commentators, so-called military analysts. They are the source of my income.
Oh, you mean you give tips to gossip columnists and things like that?
Yes, things like that.
You really make enough that way to pay for all of this?
Oh, for more than this.
Oh, Michael! Oh, it's beautiful. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it's beautiful. There are matching clips for these little ears. I wanted to get them, but, well, maybe next time, huh?
Oh, I want them. I must have them. I'll help you. Tell me what to listen for.
Oh, my funny little Jerry.
I'm serious. I get around. I bet I hear lots of things.
Yes, but not the right things.
What's the matter? What are you thinking about?
Well, there is a way you could help me if... Oh, no, forget it. Come on, finish your...
How can I help you?
Well, through this man you used to know, Crane. You know where the steel production figures are kept, huh?
I ought to. I filed them for 6 solid months. But, Michael, that's a military secret.
Oh, well, the figures themselves would never be revealed. It's just that a certain radio analyst would like to use them as a basis for his predictions, that's all.
Oh, well, if that's all.
Well, of course it is, but it means a very handsome profit.
What a laugh on Mr. John Crane. What do you want me to do?
If you could figure a way that I could get into his office.
Well, that's easy. I'll give you the key. I had an extra one made.
Oh, good. And the watchman, when does he make his rounds?
Sometimes quarter of the hour, sometimes quarter past.
Well, then it'd be perfectly safe on the hour, huh?
On the hour.
Honey? Mr. Crane?
Put up your hands. Hurry.
What happened?
The watchman changed his hour, pulled the alarm, the fool. Had to shoot him.
Did you kill him?
I'm afraid so.
What's the matter?
Oh, Sherry, get the doctor.
But I can't. They'll arrest us and ask questions.
Sherry, get the doctor.
Oh, Michael.
Hello? What? Who is this?
This is me, Stephen. Jerry.
Jerry, what's the matter? What? Where are you?
I'm in the gas station on Woodley Road near Sable Junction. Oh, hurry, Stephen. And don't tell anybody, please.
I'll be right there.
Oh, Jerry. Jerry. Jerry.
Stephen.
What happened?
I'm in trouble, terrible trouble. My brother's...
Your brother?
Yes. Oh, come and look at him, quick. Is he dead?
Gotta get him to a hospital.
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
Well, there's a reason, a desperate reason. Oh, it's too complicated to explain now. Just help him.
Jerry.
He's dying. Can't you see he's dying?
But, Jerry, I can't work on him here.
Oh, what are we going to do? You've got to help him.
You follow in my car. I'll drive this. Help me get him on the table. Get some coffee going, Jerry, and make it plenty strong. In the galley through that door. Jerry, you'd better get out on deck. I'm sorry, Jerry. I did everything I could, but he didn't have a chance.
Michael.
I hate to question you at a time like this, but I have to know what to tell the police.
Police?
Yes, his death has to be reported to them.
Why?
Well, it's the law.
But you can't do that. If you do, they'll arrest me.
Jerry, what are you talking about?
He killed a man tonight.
Killed a man? Who?
The watchman down at John Crane's.
Watchman? Jerry.
Oh, I knew something terrible would happen if if he found out about the way Crane treated me. He had an awful temper. Well, he found out about us this afternoon, and he just went crazy. He found out that Crane was working late, so he went down there.
What happened?
Well, the room was dark. He thought Crane was hiding. Well, he got in somehow, but Crane wasn't there, he said. And then, as he came out, the watchman saw him. Thought he was a burglar.
Hush, Jerry, that won't help you now.
Oh, but don't you see what this means? It'll be in all the papers. They might even find out that I tried to kill myself because of John Crane.
Are you all right to drive? Do you know where your brother kept his car?
Yes.
Well, take it there and get back to Mother Henry's as soon as you can.
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't exactly know, Jerry. I've got to figure it out.
You're good, Stephen. So much too good for me.
Catch, catch.
And the police immediately started a search for the man who telephoned early this morning.
Suspecting a hoax, they nevertheless followed the lead and found the body of a man in the Oak Hill Cemetery.
Interesting highlights are...
the bullet that lodged in the dead man's heart had been removed by a skilled surgeon.
The police tried to link the case with the killing of a watchman at the John Crane offices.
But the FBI has no record of the dead man's fingerprints.
So 3 questions demand an answer.
Who is the murdered man?
Who is the mysterious informer?
And who is the surgeon who performed the operation?
I knew you'd want this.
Were there any other things, like letters or papers?
No, nothing. Not even a wallet. Jerry, do you love me?
Why, of course.
Would you marry me now?
Anytime.
Oh, I wanted to hear you say it. I've got to get away from here.
Why? You mean because of Michael? But you didn't do anything criminal. If he were alive and you were shielding him, that would be different. He paid for killing that man. It's all over now. Even the papers have dropped it. Why can't you forget it?
Well, I doubt very much if anyone who isn't a doctor would understand the ethics involved. And I violated them.
That's foolish.
Jerry, would you be willing to come away with me to some small town where we can start a practice?
You mean leave the hospital? But you can't do that.
I've done it.
You've resigned already. What excuse did you give Mabry?
Well, I told him I've been offered a job at the Neely Institute in Wisconsin.
Then you haven't any prospects, any place?
No, nothing. Just going to jab a pin into a map.
Well, dear, don't you think it would be better if I waited until you found your place and got settled?
Yeah, of course it would, Jerry. It was selfish of me to ask it.
Hey, Sunday again.
Hello, dear.
Aren't we going down to the boat?
Oh, I'm afraid not today.
Something wrong?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. You know, when Stephen left, I wrote the Neely Clinic giving him a build-up.
Well?
Well, I just received an answer from the chief of staff there. There was no job for him, Carol. They never even heard of him.
It's not like Stephen to lie, especially to you.
I know it. That's right. Yes? Well, send them in.
Do you want me to leave?
No, of course not. Come in.
I'm Lieutenant Lake from headquarters, Doctor. This is Sergeant Martin.
How do you do? This is Miss Northrop, gentlemen.
How do you do? We'd like to ask you a few questions.
Certainly.
Are you the owner of a houseboat down at Patton's Landing?
Yes.
Well, something has happened there that ties in with the murder we're investigating.
Murder at my boat?
That's right, Doctor. Inspector Saunders is there now. And he'd appreciate it if you take a little ride down there with us.
Well, certainly.
May I go too?
It's all right with us, miss.
Coming aboard, Chief.
Yeah, why don't you learn this game, Case?
Come in.
Morning. Morning. Inspector Saunders, Miss Northrop, and Dr. Mayberry. How do you do, Doctor?
Sorry to inconvenience you this way.
Well, I'd hardly say that. I'm very much interested.
We figured you would be, and I hope you can help us. Do you know this man?
No.
That's too bad. Maybe the young lady knows him.
Well, don't show that to her.
Why?
Well, dead men are not pleasant photographic subjects.
Murdered men aren't pleasant any way you figure it.
What makes you think we should know him?
Because somebody who was a pretty good surgeon operated on him in this boat.
In this boat?
Yes. The man we're after did a pretty good job of cleaning up, considering the hurry he must have been in. But there are traces of antiseptic in these things. You can see where he scrubbed the floor around this table. And then he overlooked this little item.
What is it?
Fragments of the shirt the murdered man was wearing.
I see.
Is that all you have to say?
Well, I'd like to know how you came to investigate this boat.
A man who owns a boat up the river saw lights here that night and what he thought was a drunk man being carried aboard. When the murder was broadcast, he remembered that this boat had been sold to a doctor, and he felt it his duty to report to the police. When were you down here last, Doctor?
Oh, about 3 weeks ago.
Well, if that's the case, you can't be our man.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you don't suspect me.
What about some of your doctor friends? Any of them ever visit you here?
No. Miss Northrop is the only one who's been here.
Well, if that's the case, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to come along with us to headquarters.
Are you arresting me for murder?
Just say we're holding you for further questioning.
Hugh, may I talk to him alone for just a minute?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Come in the galley, please.
Call it.
Heads.
It was Stephen, wasn't it?
He's the only one who could have done it.
You mustn't be involved in a thing like this. It'll ruin you. If Stephen's done something wrong, let him face it.
Steve would never do anything underhanded. So there must have been some desperate reason. Until I find out that reason and how deeply involved he is, I'm going to keep still.
Jerry, just a minute. I want to talk to you. Another time.
I got something to tell you.
Not now, Vicky.
Yes, now. You know who those men were? Government men.
How do you know?
I was listening. They were questioning Jerry.
What about?
About the watchman who was killed in Crane's office.
What'd they find out?
Nothing. They just said it was a routine checkup on everyone who'd ever worked for Crane. I bet the old boy didn't tell them about his little personal trouble with Jerry.
I've got some personal trouble of my own to settle with her.
But Carol, listen.
Later. Jerry, where is Steve?
What?
I said, where is Steve?
Why, I don't know. That is, I haven't heard whether he's reached Wisconsin.
He didn't go to Wisconsin, and I think you know it.
What do you mean? Why are you so anxious to find him?
Hugh was arrested on a charge that amounts to murder. He's keeping still, but only because he's certain that Steve is guilty.
Steve? Guilty of murder? Are you crazy? Of all the nerve. Just because your high and mighty doctor got himself in a jam, you try and get him out of it by accusing Steve. Oh, I never would have believed that you'd try such a horrible, such a vicious thing. And with Steve not here to defend himself.
Oh, Vicky.
Now, maybe you'll let me finish what I started downstairs. Take a look at this.
What is it?
A man's ring.
Where'd you get it?
In Jerry's things. I was looking for that pair of nylons she's been hiding out, and bingo, I found it.
What about it, Vicky?
What about it? Can you picture our little Jerry not swanking this around if she came back legitimate? And another thing, she didn't have it last week. I know, because I was looking for a pair of shorts. And what's more, I know who it belongs to. Now, take it easy for a minute, honey. Then we'll do a little plain and fancy detecting. $9.85. This is the place I took her that Sunday.
How do
you do?
How'd you do?
Miss Daly in?
Miss Daly?
Yes, a beautiful girl, dark, kind of the old, you know.
Oh, yes, I know who you mean. But she doesn't live here. She just visits number 4.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We'll go right on up. Number 4's expecting us.
Oh, but he can't be. He hasn't been here for about a week.
Oh? What do you mean he moved?
No, he walked out of here one evening with Miss Daly. She brought his car back early the next morning, but we haven't heard from him since. He often goes away 3-4 days at a time.
Oh, 3-4 days at a time. Should we let him in on it?
I think perhaps we'd better.
We're playing cops and robbers.
Would you let us see this man's apartment? It's really important.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? How do you think number 4 feels? He's dead. Murdered.
What?
We're not sure that he's dead, but we have reason to believe that he may be. If you let us look at his apartment...
We might find something that would unravel the mystery.
Oh, gee, that's different. Wait till I get the pass key. I'll go up with you. Round this way.
Thank you. Eureka! Take a squint at this. To the only one in the world, my Michael. The only one in the world outside the Army, Navy, and the Marine Band. Well, anyway, it doesn't take much imagination to figure out this little setup.
Vicky! This is the man.
No kidding.
The police showed me his picture today.
Well, what do you know?
Well, this scares me.
Why, it's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah, I know, but with this evidence, what are we doing to Stephen?
We're warming him up on the sideline, honey, so when they take your doc out of the game, he can step right in. Come on, you're not going to weaken now. Thanks, Bud.
You certainly worked fast to get this doc of yours out of jail, Miss Northrop.
At the expense of a friend, it isn't very pleasant.
Where are you taking us to now?
From here on in, it's a government matter. When we searched Romanescu's apartment, we discovered that he was a foreign agent. Unregistered, but plenty active on the wrong side.
I wonder if Jerry knew that.
We'll soon find out. They're picking her up now. Oh, by the way, a few minutes before we left the station, Dr. Craig gave himself up.
You saved us a lot of trouble by coming in, Dr. Craig.
Well, I just heard of Dr. Maybury's arrest over a news broadcast.
You and Maybury must have been pretty good friends. He was willing to take the rap for you.
Well, he probably thought I was involved in the man's death.
Weren't you?
No, I was trying to save him.
Who shot him?
The watchman at John Crane's office.
How did you get mixed up in this?
Well, Michael was a friend of mine.
He was an enemy agent. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Go on.
Well, he called me on the phone and told me he was in trouble. He'd been shot and was afraid to go to a doctor because he killed the other man. He was on the Woodley Road. That's near Patton's Landing, so I told him to go ahead to Dr. Maybury's boat and wait there for me.
Was he alone?
Yes.
Driving a car?
Yes.
Doctor, the man had a bullet in his heart, yet you expect us to believe he was driving a car.
Men have lived with a bullet in the heart.
This one didn't. And you know why? Because you found out your girlfriend was playing around with him on the quiet.
That's not true. Miss Daly had nothing to do with it.
Then if all you did was operate on this man, why didn't you report his death to the police?
Well, I guess I was rattled. Knowing Michael had killed a man, I was afraid I'd be involved in some way.
I'm sorry, Dr. Craig. Your story doesn't hold water. I think you better think things over for a while.
Well, here we are. Miss Northrop, Miss O'Reilly, and Dr. Maybury. This is Mr. Vandergrift.
How do you do? I've just been questioning Dr. Craig.
Did he confess?
To a lot of hooey.
Yes?
They've just brought in Miss Daly.
Fine, close the door. I think I know a way of getting the truth out of Dr. Craig. Will you all step into that office with him, please? Send her in.
Hiya, Steve.
Dr. Craig, I'd like you and your friends to listen in on an interview that's coming up.
Step right in, please.
Why have I been brought here?
Just like to ask you a few questions, Miss Daly.
I bet the answers will be good.
Won't you please sit down?
You're engaged to a Dr. Stephen Craig, aren't you?
Well, not exactly. I've been out with him several times, but it's nothing serious.
Do you know where Dr. Craig is?
No, I don't. But if Carol Northrop's been here with that same story she tried to palm off on me, she's a liar.
What story is that?
But Stephen operated on a man at Dr. Mayberry's and then hushed it up.
Suppose we have evidence that Dr. Craig did that.
How could you have unless...
Unless what?
Unless Dr. Craig told you himself.
How do you know that's the only way we could get the evidence?
I don't know. I just mean that when Carol accused Stephen, she didn't have any proof.
Thank you. Miss Daly, Dr. Craig surrendered to the police today. Would you care to read his statement? Looks bad, doesn't it?
I don't see why. All he did was to try and save a man's life.
Why should he want to save that man's life? He had more reason to kill him.
What reason?
You.
I don't know what you mean.
I suppose you didn't even know Michael Romanescu.
Romanescu? His name was Daly, same as Jerry's. They don't know what they're doing.
Personally, I think they're doing swell.
Shh. I knew him, yes.
And how?
We talked to the clerk at Romanescu's apartment. It's pretty obvious that you were cheating on the doctor.
Don't you talk that way to me. I've told you I'm not engaged to Dr. Craig. I was free to go with anybody I wanted to.
Yet you always visited Romanescu on the sly.
Well, suppose I did. What about it?
Miss Daly, the last time Romanescu was seen alive, you were with him.
I was with him?
The two of you left his apartment around 8 o'clock in the evening.
Where'd you go?
We started out to dinner.
What stopped you?
We quarreled.
What about?
Oh, I don't remember.
But you remember the night. Why? I'll tell you why. You and Romanescu and Dr. Craig had some sort of a showdown that night. One of you shot Romanescu.
I didn't, I tell you. I left Michael. I went home. I don't know what happened after that.
Then Dr. Craig shot him.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
I think Craig's heard enough. You come in, Dr. Craig. Now, Doctor, I'm going to tell you what I think really happened that night, and then it's up to you to decide if you're going to admit the truth. I think this girl has been working with Romanescu as a foreign agent.
What are you talking about? He was no foreign agent. He just sold gossip to reporters.
And she helped him break into John Crane's safe.
That's a lie. I didn't.
In the holdup, the watchman was shot, and Romanescu badly hurt. He didn't dare contact his higher-ups, so she called you.
It isn't true. Tell him it isn't true, Stephen.
I don't know how she explained Romanescu to you.
She told me he was her brother.
How do you like that, the dirty little double-crosser?
Hugh, what will they do to her? Send her to prison?
Perhaps not prison. But they'll put her someplace where she can't do any more harm. She's a sick girl, mentally.
But I had nothing to do with the shooting. I stayed in the car. I'm no foreign agent. You believe that, don't you? You've got to believe that.
Wouldn't it be something if she was telling the truth for the first time in her life and nobody believed her?
Dr. Craig, you're late again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here, you two, break it up. We'll try it again, shall we? Betty, once again from the beginning.
What's that for? To make sure I catch the bouquet. Gangway! Oh, Nellie! Nellie! Oh, Nellie! Ah!
Nellie! Ladies, I've done it. I'm a wow.
Wow!
Washing or welding don't make no difference.